Okay, the recording has started. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. So at any time, if you're not sure about something or you wish to clarify something, right? Please do not hesitate to ask me.
Okay.
So today we will look at finance.
Okay.
Okay, and I would like to start with something that is quite fundamental. Okay, something that's quite fundamental. So we'll start with money. Okay, now I want you to realize something first. Okay, now if you take uh for example $1, you know, and if you look at it carefully, you have a $1 with you.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
take it
Yes.
out? Or $10
Yes.
or $5?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-uh. Okay, sir. Yeah, $1.
Okay, now you look at the wording. Okay, so if you see uh here the wording here at the bottom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now what it says is that wang ini sah diperlakukan dengan nilai. What does that mean? That means this is a paper, but it's sah means it's authorized with a value of ringgit Malaysia, or it can be 1 or 10 or 5 or whatever it is.
Uh-uh.
Now, what does that mean? It means that you believe that you can accept this money for your services, and you believe you can use this money to buy things.
Mm.
And your belief come from the government say so.
Mm.
Now, what has the government done? He has print a piece of paper, maybe, I don't know, 4 cents, 5 cents, and it automatically created a value of
1
50.
ringgit.
You print a lot, means created 1 million. And with that valuation creation, the government can give this money to people to make houses, to make hospital for services, working as a civil servant or working as a police. In other words, the government has created something out of thin air. And what is to stop the government from printing more and more? And you will still use it. Because if you don't use it, it's against the law. They can set you to prison or do whatever bad things to you because you don't accept this money. Okay, let's go back. Long ago, Malaysia was a colony of the UK. So if you ask your great grandparents, okay, if they still remember, last time in Malaysia, we are using the British pounds. The paper and the coin was created the same way as what's created now. Then we lost, and the Japanese came in. And the Japanese asked us to use their money, which have got a banana leaf. If you look around, some people selling old coins, you can see the old banana leaf. So at that time, when Malaysia is in under the rule of the Japanese, we are using the Japanese currency. And when the Japanese lost the war and they go back, the UK people come back in again. And we use the pound sterling again. And then we get Merdeka, and then we use the ringgit.
Okay.
Okay? So what does that mean? That means when a government change, can a government change all the money? Yes. Why? Because we voted in the government. So if 51% of the population voted in the new government and the new government say, I don't want to use the current money, I print my own money, if they are lucky, they are kind to you, they will say, okay, we convert the old money to the new money. If they are not kind to you, they say, oh, you start from scratch. This is the new money. And this money is called fiat money. The word F-I-A-T is like a Japanese star. Fiat. What does the word fiat mean? It means, in Latin, printed out from the air, made from the air. Okay, now we have a scenario. People got no job. So when people have no job, we got social unrest. And the government, maybe for example, the king or the prime minister or the president, he wants to stay in power forever. Now in the democracy type of government, election is every 4 years. So what does the government want to do? Or the top man, what does he want to do? He wants to stay in power forever. It's natural. Why? Because he gives him a lot of power. I want to become the prime minister forever. So the people are not so happy. They got no money. What did the government do? The government print money. With that money, they ask the citizen, okay, now we got money, I give to you, start making roads, highways, or whatever it is. And we do it because we want the printed money. So now everybody got jobs. And when everybody got job, we have another problem. A lot of people now got money. And all of them want to buy things. But to replace things, to make new things takes time. Let's say, for example, last time only got 1 million ton of rice. So everybody buy the rice. And then when the government introduced more money into the market, now people got 2 million ringgit. But there's only 1 million ton of rice. And to grow the extra rice, it takes time. Whether it's car, or even services, or even shoes, it takes time to make. So in the meantime, when there's too much money chasing too few goods, I repeat, that is the definition of inflation. When there is too much money chasing too few goods, what happened? The businessman increased the price.
Yes.
That's why you got inflation. Okay? But in the long run, hopefully, the supply will be increased, then inflation go down. But in the short term, inflation will go up because everybody got a lot of money and everybody want to buy more rice. And rice can only be grow, I don't know, maybe about 6 months' time. So within that 6 months' time, the rice dealer are going to increase their price. Why? Because they see profit.
Yes.
So now everybody complaining to the government. Hey, thank you very much for giving us a job. We got money, but now the price of goods goes up. And now the government will be worried because in 4 years' time, there's another election. And they don't want to have inflation as a key topic. This is what happened always in US. US election, majority is because of the economy. Inflation or no jobs. So anyway, now inflation come up already. Now the government, oh, get too much money in the market. Now the government now want to take back the money. How does the government take back the money? Increase the tax. Suddenly you got SST, increase the income tax rates. Or the government right now will sell you a bond. What is a bond? A bond is a certificate that says that if you give the government $90 now, in 1 year time, they give you $100 back. So therefore, it carries a 10% interest. Right? So now a lot of money is taken out, either through taxation or through selling a bond. You guys got no money. And because you have no money, you don't buy so much. And because you don't buy so much, the price of goods will fall down. Because now the rice is 2 million. You got 2 million tons of rice. And now you don't have so many money to buy the rice. So what does the trader do? He drops the price. So when he drops the price, we will reduce the production. So what happens if we reduce the production? We start to sack people. Okay, so the rice farmers have lesser workers, which translate to lesser worker having lesser money, which means lesser money in the market, which means inflation will go down. The point is, when the rice farmer cut their people, so their employees get lesser money, their suppliers, let's say, for example, a fertilizer supplier to the rice farmers get lesser money, they become nervous and start to sack their own people. And more people get sacked and become a negative spiral. Negative spiral. Okay, more and more people get sacked, more and more people get lesser money, more and more people will be having hardship. And then here comes the issue again. People now get very angry with the government. We have no jobs. Can you see the cycle keep on repeating again? So the cycle grow up, go down, go up, go down, go up, go down. In other words, unemployment and inflation, they are related. No jobs, government print money, give you money, make you have more jobs, leads to more money in the market, leads to inflation, leads to you complaining. Government now sell bonds, increase tax, reduce money. Companies start to slow down, cut jobs. And now you have unemployment cycle again. Now, in most economy, they will say maybe 3% inflation is good. Why? It stimulates people to make more production. 10%, 20% is too much. Hyperinflation. Okay, it happens in Germany after the World War when they lost, or happens in Argentina or Zimbabwe. Those countries, they are printing money non-stop, too much printing, no control. Okay, and therefore, this country have a lot of problems until somebody step in and help them out. So where does it come from? It comes from the invention of money. Now, come to think about it, government can print money. That's only represent maybe 5% of money created. So what happened to the other 95%? Who create the other 95% money? The banks. Now, how does bank create money? Okay, maybe you want to buy a house. You want to borrow money to have a new factory, to buy a car, to have some machineries. You lend money. From who? Of course, you can lend it from your friends, your parents, but they don't have so much money. So where do you put your money? Where do you get your money? Investors and banks. Bank is a big culprit. Why? You lend money to the bank. To the bank, you say you want to buy a condo. Okay, I don't know where you stay. Maybe you stay in Shah Alam. So they cost you maybe about around, I don't know, 600, 700K, right? Around there. So you go to the bank asks you, oh, please give me all your documentation, and they see what is your income, roughly. 40% of your income, right, can be paid to the bank as a bank loan repayment. 60% of your income must be used for the bank know you need around 60% for your eating, your rental, your petrol bill, your second loan for your car, you know, whatever, clothes, whatever. So you need 60% left. Therefore, left behind 40%, roughly, of your income can be used to pay off the bank loan. So from there, they calculate how much you can pay, which is roughly 40% of your monthly income, times by the duration of the loan, and that's the amount they can give to you as a bank loan. Now, let's digest a little bit. Where do you put your money when you got extra money? Doc.
Bank.
You put it into your pillow? You put it in the house? You don't, isn't it? Why? Because thief, right? Fire, flood, whatever it is, you feel nervous, right? So you, of course, you put your money, of course, with your parents, right? Some, but some you keep in the bank. Where else can you put your money? So you put your money in the bank, and in return, they give you an ATM card. And they say it's a saving account, or if there's a FD, you cannot draw out unless you lose all your interest. But there's a cap when you put your money in a bank account, unless it's a current account. If you put your money in a saving account, maximum deposit is 5K per month, or do it now, transfer is 30K. Now, why does the bank give you a cap of drawing your bank money? Because you have nowhere but to put your money at the bank. And you have nowhere when you lend money, big money, where do you lend? You must lend from the bank. And because you put your money in the bank give you how much interest? 0.5%. And when they lend money to you, how much are they going to charge you? 5%, 6%, 4%. The difference is the bank profit. So when the bank give you a loan, it's not doing you a favor. Oh, don't say, oh, thank you very much, bank, you give me a loan so I can buy a house. You are wrong. The bank have to lend it to you. Why? Because that's how they make profit. That's why all their buildings are big, aircon, nice uniform, big managers, right? That's how they make a profit. That's why banks are very smart. They got an institute of bankers doing all the banking exam, and they also got the association of bankers, somewhere in KL, right? These bankers get together and become an oligopoly. What is an oligopoly? It's not really a monopoly, a few players. So a few players sit down together, and you notice when you go and put your money at the bank, or when you borrow money from the bank, the interest rates are nearly the same. Not much difference. Why? Because they already, okay, in Malay, we call this pakat. They actually pakat. They pay 0.5 for your saving, and they lend out to you at 4 to 5%. And that's why the banks have got always wants to influence the government not to allow the treasury to issue new banking license. So whenever there's a new banking license, what will happen? More competition means more better for the rakyat. But the banks don't want to do that because it is their golden rice bowl. Okay? So now you have a situation, you know a little bit more. Okay? So now who is controlling the banks? The banks are controlled by Bank Negara. Who controls Bank Negara? Bank Negara has got, it's like a company set up. It's a company, as a Bank Negara Act. Okay? And he has got a governor and a few secretary, there is secretary, and I think altogether about 6 or 7 people. Okay? I think it's about, sorry, about me. Okay, I cannot remember either 7 or 8. All of them, all these are appointed by the Agong. Who recommend them to be appointed to Agong? The Prime Minister. And the other 2 vacancies are people from the Ministry of Finance, from Khazanah. Who are the people in Khazanah? Civil servant. Who appoint them? The Prime Minister. So in other words, democratic countries all over the world, the central bank which control the commercial banks are controlled by the government. And we say it's okay because we democratically elect the Prime Minister who recommended to the Agong. So 51% people should have a majority say. Except for 2 types of countries. Okay, but before we go there, so let's now think carefully. If the people in Bank Negara are controlled by the appointment by the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister holds the keys of everything. So if the Prime Minister not so good, for example, okay, he will appoint a lot of lackeys in Bank Negara, which now controlling the commercial bank. Central bank will tell, Bank Negara will tell the commercial banks, do this, do that, right? Which most likely will be in favor of what the Prime Minister political agenda. Why? Because the Prime Minister want to stay become a Prime Minister forever. So if you people are complaining no job, Prime Minister tell Bank Negara, hey, start to print money. Okay? Now, if you people got too much money, you complain about inflation, Bank Negara will tell the go to Parliament, make the October the budget bill, let's have more tax. Go to Bank Negara, ask them to sell more bonds. Except for two types of, I won't say country, two types of systems. The first system is the USA system. They call it the Federal Reserve. Now, the name Federal is misleading. A Federal Reserve is actually a company, okay? It's not a government agency, okay? It's not a government ministry in the USA side. It's actually a company. Who are the shareholders? All American banks. All American banks in America are shareholders of the Federal Reserve, which is a company. What do you mean by commercial banks? Real American banks. If Maybank now opened a branch in New York, they cannot become a shareholder. We're talking about, I think about 3,000 over American banks. Okay, different bank names, okay, are shareholder of the Federal Reserve. And this is like a company, they work for their own board of directors, and they have the chairman of the board, which is the chairman of the board of the Federal Reserve right now is Powell, okay, and he makes directions on interest rates and money supply as a company with shareholders which are company. So the Federal Reserve is actually a profit-making organization. It does not have to follow whatever the President Trump had to say. That's why there's a conflict right now. President Trump wants to reduce the interest rate and making the loans cheaper, so the citizen of US is more happy. But Federal Reserve say, no, if you reduce the interest rate, okay, you will have more money, there will cause inflation, will have another problem. So it's the same problem again, okay, the cycle. So now, sorry, I digress a little bit. So now let's say who creates money? Banks create money. How they create money? When you borrow money to buy a house, do they give you the money paper? No. They ask you to open an account, right? Give me your IC, give me your business registration number or whatever it is. They open for you an account and they put into the computer system 1 million. It's numbers. They just type the word 1 million. So what do you do with the 1 million? Okay, you can break in a current account, they give you a checkbook and you sign and you take that one to go and buy a house or buy a car, right? So think carefully. The bank now is creating money. In return, you owe them a loan, right? And you use the money to go to buy a house. So you give the money to the, what do you call that? Developer. What does the developer do with the money? Now, the money was transferred from your account to your developer account. Developer use the money to pay for salary, to buy bricks, to buy paint. All this is transfers. Nobody carry cash in the bag and go from company to company, correct? So all these are all artificially created. It started with giving you a loan. Okay? And because of that, your $1 can be multiplied by roughly 10 times. When you spend $1, you are multiplying 10 times. For example, in your company, you are buying now medicine. So you pay the money to the medicine company. Medicine company going to pay somebody for the plastic, somebody for the, I don't know, some herbs, right? And they pay to their money to their employees, and all of them will be using their money to buy some consumer product or something like that, right? So it keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. We call that a money multiplier, roughly 10 times. So therefore, the amount of money in circulation, Bank Negara only print maybe 5 to 10% max. The other is created by the banks. Now, why does the bank only cap your withdrawal 5K per day or transfer 30K or do it now per day? Because you give the money to the bank. But the bank used the money to lend out to somebody else. And they lend out to somebody else for 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years if it's a house. But you can draw 5K. So whenever there's a bank rumor, suddenly you hear somebody say, oh, maybe Maybank is in trouble. So what the thing you do first? You line up at the ATM machine and you go to the bank tomorrow to close your account. Right? And the problem is you don't do it yourself. You go and tell your friends. Your friends all will be lining up. Okay, all the ATM machines. Everybody will be going to the bank. Now the bank don't have the money. Why? The bank have lent out to somebody with a 10-year or 20 years loan. You understand? And we call that a bank run. And the problem is, it's a problem with Maybank. But then you tell your friend is actually in CIMB Bank. And you tell your friend, hey, you have a bank in CIMB Bank. Hey, you better take out your money because Maybank also got problem. So the CIMB Bank people will be all lining up. The RSB Bank will be all running up. And everybody is lining up. You think it never happened? It happens many times. Most recently is in the Scotland side, they call it the what bank? Royal Bank of Scotland. Oh, big title. Okay. Another time was in the North Rock Bank in the UK. We call this a bank run. Now, what happens if there's a bank run? Okay. Maybe because of rumors, or maybe because of investment, or maybe Maybank do bad investment, or Maybank give loans to people who don't pay back. So Maybank is in trouble. For example, I'm not saying anything, so don't sue me. Okay, I'm just giving an example. And then now, see what happened now. Everybody line up. The bank got no money, so what did the bank do? The bank got borrow from another bank. But if the other bank got money, the other bank got no money, the other bank also got problem, they also got whole people lining up. Lender of last resort is Bank Negara. So Bank Negara is a lender of last resort. So now Bank Negara has got a decision to make. Will we let the bank, Maybank, fall, declare bankrupt, or we will support? Two options. Now, what happens if we let the bank bankrupt? Do you know how many people will be in the street fighting already? No? You put money in the bank, and then suddenly now you got no money. Those people who borrow money from the bank keep quiet. The bank bankrupt already, I don't have to pay back, right? But those people who are lending money to the bank or giving money as a deposit to the bank, they all will be very angry. Imagine for yourself, you now got maybe some money in some bank, and tomorrow the bank say they are bankrupt, they don't give back. I don't think you'll be very happy, right? Okay, if you are very vocal, you'll be on strike, and if you are very terrible, you will start to burn buildings already, right? Burn the bank buildings. So the bank is nervous, and the government is also nervous. Because why the government is nervous? Don't forget, every 4 years, there's an election. I want to stay in power forever. Okay, that's it. So government say, don't worry. We will step in to help you. So what the government do? The Bank Negara give out the money. What does that mean? Now remember, the bank makes profit by lending. You understand? Because if the bank don't lend out money, the bank don't make profit. So the bank lend money. Now the bank become very smart. The bank will say, I'm too big to fall. I repeat, the bank will be thinking, I'm too big to fall. The government will always support me. So the bank now has got a, how to say, 100% behind people supporting me. So now I start to lend out money. Even though you don't have deposit also, I will simply lend out money so I can have a chance to make profit. Because if anything happens, the government will come and support me. Right? Because they know if the government don't support me, the Rakyat is going to get very angry. So the banks have to lend money. Now, one of the worst things is in 2018, we call it the subprime loan in US, then spread around the world because everybody follow the same formula. The bank will now lend to good people. What do you mean by good people? Prime people. They got good income, they will pay back the loan. Okay? And number they thinking is, oh, I really use up all the good people. I don't have so much good people left to lend out, but I still want to lend to get profit. How do I lend? I only type numbers in into a computer system. So it's easy to lend. So now the bank is looking for subprime. Subprime means people got not so good income, okay? But don't mind, we lend to them because the property price will keep on going up. Land is limited and people always want to buy houses. So the bank keep on lending to the lousy people because the bank say, if you don't pay back, I go and lay along the building, I still make a profit. And the bank will take this risk because it's just typing numbers. And if anything happens, big brother behind the government will support me. So the bank get greedy. Why does the bank get greedy? Because the bank workers, if they give more loans, they get higher commission, they get promotion, right? So I don't care. Oh, not so good one. Okay, never mind. Basic. Okay. Okay, I lend to you because if we fail, I take back the property, I lay long, I get profit back. So it becomes so much, and the developer becomes so good. Okay, so many economic activity is going on. The government is very happy, and the whole world is happy. Fine. We have a problem. There will be so many houses around. Now the subprime basically cannot pay, and because so many houses is around, the price of houses keep on going down. Too much supply. Okay, when the price houses going down and the subprime cannot pay, so the subprime give up, surrender the house to the bank. Now the bank had to sell the house, and when the bank sell the house at the lay long price, it become very low. So the bank balance sheet is a problem. That's the first one. Now the second one is the prime people. The prime people, they have got their loan for their house. Now the prime people see the subprime housing going down, they stop paying the loan. Give up on the loan and buy the cheaper houses, the subprime house. So it become a double kick. That subprime problem created so much trouble around the world. Okay? Not only in US, every country like that. It takes a long time to recover. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is money is an idea. It's a piece of paper created for your daily transactions. But the greatest creator of money is the banks. And if they are not disciplined, they will create havoc. And they have no incentive to be disciplined because they know Big Brother behind will always bail them out. What does that mean for you now? If you have money, fine, you can put in the bank. So many people say, okay, why don't we buy stocks? Be careful. When the economy is down, share price go down because the company is not making money. Okay, why don't we buy bonds? Actually got also got problem. Even though they give you a 10% and they can always pay you back because the government can pay you, but sometimes governments also fail. When the government fails, all your bonds become worthless. Okay, when the new government refuses to recognize the old bonds, it's simple as that. Okay, and therefore many countries now are buying gold and silver. Okay, they actually buy physical gold, not paper gold, not share certificate in the gold mine. They buy the actual gold. Many central banks right now are keeping gold as a very strong reserve. Okay, so there's I hope I have given you a little bit background of the current situation, which is now actually very terrible. For your information, every country in the world has a lot of debts. Every country. Number one is US. They have about, I think, 38 trillion US dollar debt. Malaysia also got debt. Every country is a debt. Why? Because everybody is printing money. Okay? Because it's fiat money. Okay? So now, what can we do? Normal citizens. Right? We are not billionaires moving money here and there. Okay? Just be careful. Just be careful. One of the, get some liquid. Okay, some real asset. Don't put money at the bank 100%. Have a real asset, have a business, have something. Okay, so we start with money. Okay, what are the functions of money? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, what is money? It's a medium of exchange. What does that mean? Well, you change money with goods. A store of value. You put your money in your wallet, after 10 days, it's still the same 10 ringgit. A unit of account. A unit of account is like, say, for example, if there's no money, it's going to be a problem. Okay, let's say you're a medical doctor and somebody comes to see you. And then he say he got no money. I want to give you maybe 1 bag of rice. You say, no, I don't want rice. I want 1 kilo of a chicken. And the man say, oh, I don't have kilo of chicken. Therefore, you as the doctor say, I cannot give you my doctor service. That is called barter trade. So a barter trade must have a coincidence of wants. Coincidence of wants means I got chicken and I'm sick. And you are the doctor who wants chicken. But if you're a doctor and you want Milo and I don't have Milo, there is no meeting of needs. And because of there's no meeting of needs, there's no transaction. Okay, so it becomes terrible. Economic activity will go down, I don't know, 1,000 times, 1 million times, right? But if there is some money, if I got chicken, I sell my chicken, I get ringgit, I give the ringgit to you because you will take the ringgit and you can buy Milo because you want Milo, you don't want chicken, right? So therefore, a money is a unit of account with a number, 1 ringgit, 10 ringgit, or 5 cents, or whatever it is. So there are a few types of money, actually. First one is called the commodity money, money with value, gold or silver. Okay, so long ago, people used bits of gold or bits of silver to change things. It's not very systematic because the size can be big size, small size. It's not very, there's no standard of degree of purity. Okay, so then they move on to the thing called representative money. So representative money is long ago you see those US dollar, old US dollar. 1 US dollar is represent, I think, 0.03 troy ounce. It has got a fixed exchange. So if the gold in the US Treasury is 0.03 troy ounce, they are allowed to print 1 US dollar. In other words, you can take the US dollar, go to bank, go to the Federal Reserve and exchange back the physical gold. Now, why that is very good? Because first and foremost, gold need time to go and find, to do mining, right, to make into gold bars or whatever it is. So it cannot be printed so fast. And it is controlled by the physical amount of the gold. So there's no such thing as simply printing money just to make the citizen have money so they become voting for me so that I can become prime minister forever. There's no such thing, okay? Now, the other thing is bank money also come in the form of deposits and checks. These are money. Okay, there's a checkbook. And the last one, this is the worst invention ever created. It's called the fiat money. Money without value. It's a piece of paper, legally tendered. Okay, so every paper printing in US costs 10 cents. One paper costs 10 cents. And that paper can be 100 US. In other words, one paper printed, the US government make a profit of 99.90 by printing. Therefore, they don't like counterfeit people because counterfeit people were also printing money, right? Every government don't like counterfeiters, right? So printing fiat money allows government to create money out of thin air. This will result in increasing government spending. Why increase government spending? So after the first building is finished already, first hospital is finished already, those people have no job, right? So we let's build a second hospital building. So the government keep on printing to get the people to have more jobs. Okay, here comes inflation and here comes the huge debt. Okay, people borrowing money. Now I want you to understand a very important concept. We call it the TVM, time value of money. This is the concept that money today is worth more than the same amount in the future. Because today, money has potential earning capacity. Now, what does that mean? Okay, now today, you have in your wallet 10 ringgit. If you do nothing, after 1 year, the money is still 10 ringgit in your wallet. Correct?
Right.
But if you have take the money and you have deposited in the bank or do something and make a profit, so at the end of 1 year, you will get more than 10 ringgit. Let's say, for example, first scenario, 10 money in your wallet, 1 year later on, 10 money also in your wallet because you never do anything. Second scenario, you got 10 ringgit in your wallet, you take it out, you put it in the bank give you, let's say, 1% interest. At the end of 1 year, it becomes 11. So what does that mean? That means in 1 year time, 11 is equal to $10 now. Do you get the logic? 11 ringgit in 1 year time is worth 10 ringgit now. You clear with that logic? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Huh? I cannot hear you.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay, so you please understand this important concept of money. In other words, money you cannot put in the bank forever because the small interest, even though it's the interest, is not that enough to cover for inflation or for earnings potential. Okay, so you have to use today's money to do business, buy stock or buy bond or do business to generate more money. Because at the end of the day, in within 1 year, inflation is going to catch up with you anyway, right? So the time value of money is very simple. 1,000 a year from now is worth about 909 today at 10% discount rate. So depending on your discount rate. Now, what do you mean by discount rate? The rate that you can get as a profit, whether it's a saving interest rate or your business profitability ratio. Okay, and we actually have a formula for it, and you can actually download in the handphone the app. There are many apps for you to calculate present value. The word means present value. What does that mean? What is the present today value of 1,000 in 1 year time? 1,000 in 1 year time based on 10% discount rate is worth presently. The value at present is only 909. Just a simple formula. Please understand this concept. Okay? Now, I want to talk about, so what did we learn from this time value of money? Well, basically, money is worth in the future, whatever money in the future has got a different value, really, really lesser value than what is in the present time. So when you're looking at your business and you're projecting your profit for the next 5 years or 10 years, so every year you got profit. So every year that profit, you come to the 5th year, that 5th year, let's say every year is 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. You got 5 years and every year you got 1,000, 1,000 profit. That profit is 1,000 on the 5th year is worth very much lesser than today. So when you're doing investment, later on we will apply this technique. You're not looking only at the numbers itself. You should also look at the time value of the number, or time value of money. Okay. Now, okay, let's look at the next one. I want to tell you something called interest rate. Now, how does the bank charge you for interest rate? It's actually composed of 3 components. What is the real rate? The inflation rate and the interest rate. Okay, let's look at a bank. For example, a bank. When you borrow money from the bank, they charge you interest. So let's say the bank is taking money from the saver. The saver, they pay 0.5%. So maybe here is 0.5%. That's the cost. The bank have to pay the people with the saving people. The savers. And then maybe the bank want to have some profit. So this is the real rate. Now, that you have the inflation. Because when you pay back your bank loan, it's the same number. Every month they ask you to pay, let's say 3,000. For the next 30 years, it's always 3,000. But that's the inflation issue. So therefore now they increase the inflation premium based on the expected. And then there's another thing they call risk associated with time. The longer the time, the higher the interest rate. Why? Let's say, for example, if you borrow today and you pay tomorrow, risk is very little. You have not died yet, right? Your business not yet die tomorrow. But if you're going to lend for 30 years, maybe you die before 30 years. Who's going to pay the loan? Oh, we got insurance company. What will happen if there's no insurance company? If there's something wrong, let's say, so that's why sometimes banks, when they lend money to business, they ask you to put a certain amount back as fixed deposit to cover for this risk. But nevertheless, they will charge you an interest rate. So that is called the nominal interest rate. So let's say, for example, you're borrowing money from the bank, right? And the bank is charging you, let's say, 5%. Example, maybe here's 1%, here's 3%, and here's another 1%. That's why they charge you 5%. That is the interest rate that is written in the bank contract. So now you ask them, hey, can you break down this 5%? Of course, they're not going to break down for you. They just say, okay, this is 5%. If you don't take it, I'm sorry, we cannot do business. And then you go to another bank. Another bank also say 5%. Because they're all oligopoly. Oligopoly, they already decided, hey, don't play, don't rock the boat. Everybody, let's eat the rakyat equally, right? No, okay. So that's what it means. Okay, it goes up. Okay, so we call it up sloping. So sometimes it can be because I just draw like this. Don't think it's long time. Sometimes it can be short time. A short loan, let's say a 3 years loan. The same thing appears. Okay, the three categories. Whether it's 3 years or 5 years loan or 10 years loan, it's always composed of 3 components. Okay. Wait, what happens if there is a deflation? If there's a deflation, this inflation line will go down. Inflation go down, and of course, this rate will go down. This and this are the same. It's only this pink line. Inflation, they expect inflation, they'll go up the rate over time, or if they expect deflation, economy going down, they will go. Therefore, the rate will go down. Okay, that's why during booming time, sometimes you will see a normal time, high interest rate, and when the economy is not good, you'll see the interest rate going down because of inflation side. Now, there are basically 4 types of instrument that you can borrow money from. Basically, first, simple loan, fixed payment loan, compound bond, and discount bond. Okay, we look at the first one. So I give you an easy example. Lender give you $100, interest $10, interest $10. You pay 31st of December at one time, 110. So you pay 110. That's called a simple loan. Okay, it can be 1 year, it can be 6 months, or whatever it is. The important thing is the principal amount and the interest amount is paid one time. The second one is called a fixed loan. So interest is 10, they charge you 8%, lesser than 10%. How does it work? So 8%, right? So the total amount is principal 100, interest 8, you pay 108 divided by how often you pay. So if let's say you pay 4 times, so they pay 27, 27, 27. Now, why does it go down? Because you don't pay all at one time. So the bank receives some money from you. Therefore, their risk is lesser. You understand? Because the risk is lesser, they will charge you lower, or actually you should negotiate for the lower one, right? Because it makes sense. Because you pay back some principal and pay back some interest. You are paying back $20 principal and 7 ringgit for interest. So after 3 months already, now what you owe the bank is actually only 73. So the risk becomes lesser. Here, 46. Here lesser, and then at the end, the last one is only 27. Because you paid earlier, compare when you pay at the end, the risk is lesser, therefore the interest is lesser.
Right.
And here is the coupon bond. It can be issued by the government or it can be issued by the company. So 9% is the same. Now, why does coupon bond have higher interest rate than the bank fixed term loan, even though it's the same type of logic? Because company can go bankrupt. Company will not have a big brother, okay, supporting them. The government supporting that. Banks got. So therefore, bank can afford to give you a cheaper rate. So here they're paying only the interest and then the final interest is the principal. Okay. So it's a little bit higher because you don't pay the principal, you only pay the interest. Okay, that's 109. Now the discount bond is normal, quite popular with the government. Can be 3 years or 5 years. Anyway, government can issue two types of bond, coupon bond or discount bond. You give 99, you give 110. So actually, it's not 10%. It's actually 11.1111. So these are 4 types of credit market instrument. Which is the best? If you are the lender, this is the best because your risk becomes lesser. If you are the borrower, this is the best. You pay at the end. That means you can still see what's the difference between these two. As a lender, you can still use the 27 here.
Yes.
But if you use this way, you cannot use the 27 because you must pay the 27.
Right.
That's the issue. Okay, and that's because of that, you have to pay a higher loan. So depending whether you're a lender or you're a saver. Okay. Now, so far, any question?
No, okay, very good. Clear, sir.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Clear?
Clear.
Now, it all depends which one you can get. You know, sometimes we have a saying, borrowers are beggars. So beggars have no say, right? Big banks are the lenders. They have more say. So in most likelihood, they always want to go this way.
Yes.
Okay, they want. That's why, no? But if you are stronger than them, you want to do this way. Now, how can you become stronger than them? When the bank is full of money and they have nowhere to go to lend out, that's where you can ask for a simple loan. Very rare occasion. Very rare occasion. Okay? Or you're a government. Government would like to do this way. Because why? Because it's cheaper, okay, compared with a simple loan or the, okay? Sorry, it's actually more expensive, but they do it that way because they want the money now. They don't want to pay back first, okay? So most government will do this way. Okay, now I want to talk about financing working capital because you're a Sindiran Berhad and you are not very big company. So sometimes you got cash flow issue. So how do you finance your working capital? Okay, there are 3 types: maturity, conservative, aggressive. Depend on which type. I will explain each one of you and each type, and then you will see which one is applicable to your circumstances. Okay. Now, what is working capital? I think you understand. You need cash.
Yeah.
So you need to pay the cash to pay your salary, to pay your supplier. So number 1 is your cash. Can be also equal to your bank balance. So your physical 129 and also bank balance. Okay, that's the one. The other one is another type is your inventory. These are called working capital because maybe you need to buy the medicine, right? Medicine is a working capital because you can sell it easily. And you may have some company, right? You sending their sick people to you, and you don't take money from them. You bill to the company once a month. That is called debtors, right? So you give them maybe credit terms, you must pay within 15 days after the end of the month or something like that. So that's our debtors. So these 3 are called current assets, and it's called, another name is called working capital. Okay. Now this different from the fixed capital or fixed asset, like for example, your car, your building. You don't normally sell your car and building every day, right? But your medicine, your debtors, and your cash, you're using it every day. So that we call those as current asset, and those assets that is used to generate income, but you do not sell it every day. You use it, okay, year in and year out. Those are called fixed assets. Okay, so now let's look at it. The first one is for the maturity. Okay, let's say for example, this is time, okay, and this is money, and maybe your fixed asset, you keep on adding fixed asset, whatever it is, and you may have permanent current asset. Permanent current asset is like, for example, you need to have a permanent reserve of cash. People bring in money, right? $50, you need to change back the change for them, or you must have a minimum amount of certain type of medicine. Okay, normal medicine like cough mixture, whatever it is. So you need to have a permanent amount, and we call that as permanent current asset. This should be financed by long-term financing. What does that mean? If you need to borrow money, you have to borrow money for a long term, more than 1 year, so that you can pay back in a longer time, but every month smaller amount. Okay. So your long-term financing can be long-term loans, or it can be capital, share capital, or profit in your company. You retain certain amount of profit in your company, you don't pay out as dividends. Okay. And temporary current asset. Oh, okay, now it's coming to be winter time or flu season time. You need to buy more flu season, so you need to have more medicine, so you pay temporarily. And then after the flu season is over already, you can reduce the medicine. So this is called temporary current asset. This can be by short-term financing. So short-term financing, we have, for example, bank overdraft, okay, temporary loans, 3 months or 6 months loans. Okay, these are called short-term. We call it the maturity matching approach. Okay, so you are doing your financing based on the inherent nature of your asset. Okay, therefore there is no extra money. Okay, it is good. Yes, for certain business is good. We don't need to have so much money, because excess fund is not generating income for you. Can you remember the time value of money? If you got extra cash, it's not generating money for you. So when I see a company got a lot of cash, it generates something in my mind. First thing is, why are you not using the money to earn more money? You have no options. If you have no options, then there's something wrong. Okay. So if I see a company got too much money, cash in the bank, I'm thinking maybe the management is not so smart, eh? Right? Now the other one is called the conservative. It's the same thing again. Long term is always long-term financing, and then you got a permanent. But then you see, hey, he also got the short-term financing. Okay, it goes up and go down. Okay, why? This is called the excess fund. We actually sometimes borrow more money. So we actually have more long-term financing. Can you see this line? This long-term financing amount available of money is to cover your fixed asset in your permanent, and also a little bit extra. So this extra is excess fund. Maybe you use it for hedging or marketable security, use it for something, or use it as a guarantee for something, or you're risk prone. You're risk adverse. You're very worried about something happening. Suddenly, nobody come to see you as a doctor, so you have no money. So use this as a. So this is called conservative approach. Okay. The last one is the aggressive approach. Okay. Only fixed asset and long term. Okay. Only fixed asset is long term. All permanent current asset and total current asset is all short term. This is the most dangerous. This is the most dangerous. Okay, so why do people want to do this way? Okay, what is this thing doing here? Oh, sorry. Okay, so why do people do this way? It's because they cannot get long-term financing. Their capital is not enough. Okay, and nobody want to lend them money, so they got no choice. They can only do long-term financing and fixed asset, and therefore they have to do a lot of short-term financing. Now, when you do short-term financing, the lenders are a little bit nervous because they're going to borrow more. You have to be sure that you can pay back, because before they will lend you more short-term. You can see the small size, because your financing is able to cope with the permanent current asset. When your permanent current asset, this portion cannot be coped by long-term, you have to go short-term. Okay, so what is the best way? Of course, the best way is this one, the conservative approach. You need to have some long-term financing by share capital or by the profit or long-term loan, just in case, because you do not know, suddenly there's a rainy day, right? This is the best approach. This approach is because you have no choice. This approach, too pessimistic, I think. Too pessimistic. Okay, best way is this one. Okay, conservative because you have enough cash for a rainy day. Okay, so far understand?
Yes.
So now you look at your company balance sheet. You split into which one is permanent, which is fixed asset, and see how is your financing. Okay, because in your balance sheet, you know how to do this? Okay, I will show you. You are still with me, huh?
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
say something?
Yeah. No. I'm okay. Yes. Most of my fixed asset is
Okay,
under
okay.
long-term financing.
You go to your company right now.
Hmm?
You look at the balance sheet. So we just show you any example of balance sheet. Okay lah. Oh, why so detailed? You want to be so detailed one? Never mind, never mind. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, I don't know where you can see it or not. Okay, this is your income statement. Okay, this is your balance sheet. Okay, now you have the current asset here. Oh, sorry, this is a personal one. This is a bad example. This is a personal balance sheet. I need to have a company one. Let's look at it. Okay, so you have a balance sheet. Here is asset and liability. Okay, this is your current asset and this is your fixed asset or other asset. So you have this 91. Okay, out of this you must break down which is the permanent one. And then you got a fixed asset here, you got total figure. Well, maybe 91, maybe out of 91, let's say half, okay? Let's say a 50. So 50 is the permanent, and therefore this is the fixed asset, so you can draw the two line already. Okay? Therefore, you can draw this line already. Yeah, man, now. So look at your balance sheet, and now you can draw your line over time, or just current situation doesn't matter. Current situation doesn't matter today. Today, how much is your fixed asset, the amount, and what is your permanent current asset? So you can now draw these two lines. Okay, just draw a little bit. Okay, and then the other asset, the other current asset will be the temporary here. So in other words, when you come to this line, this is your total asset line.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll tie back to this figure here. This is your total asset line. Okay, total asset line. Okay, so these are fixed asset, for example. Basically, can split into fixed assets and the current asset. And the current asset you need to split into permanent or non-permanent. Okay. Now, this is your liability side. How much is your long term? So your long term will be. If I cannot see the other side one. Where's the liability? Expense liability.
Total liability.
Net asset liability. Deferred bond issue. Okay. Now you see your current liability, and then you will have the long-term liability. Okay. And you have sometimes you have this line called share capital. So the share capital and your long-term will be here. Long-term and share capital will be here, and the balancing figure is financing. So you will now see whether which chart are you now? And if your chart is like this, it's a little bit not so good, aggressive. You need to increase your share capital to come to the better one, the conservative one. So therefore, you think of idea how to increase your long-term or increase your long-term borrowing or increase your share capital, bringing in more share capital. That's the best way. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes. I can hear you.
Okay, so you can actually draw for yourself. Okay? You can draw for yourself right now. You break down your own balance sheet and get down whether which side are you now. Okay?
Okay.
Now I want to talk about the next one. Okay, sources of funds, right? Yeah, okay. First thing you need to understand, we're talking about money first. So
Right.
cash conversion. So with cash, of course, you pay your creditors lah, your medicine supplier.
Yep.
Maybe you have to pay cash to buy some inventory. Okay. So for you, maybe you have a patient coming in here, so you give service and then you can collect the money, so it's cash. And if those are not paying you cash one, some of them they're paying you by 30 days to debtors. So at the end of the day, you need to understand the money coming in and the money going out. So now, the funny thing is that you don't want to pay so early to your suppliers, because with that delay in payment, means that you can put the money temporarily, at least in the bank, for 1-2 days, you get 0.2% interest, better than nothing. Right? You like to delay payment to your suppliers. But you want to receive from your customer cash as much as possible, because with the cash, don't forget time value of money, you can use the cash, go and put the bank, and this gives some money, right? Some saving account, right? For a company, you can do repo, excess money, just do 1 day. 1 day repo. If you don't know, ask the bank. Normally, you give them a letter. There's a form to fill up. If there's no form, normally I give a letter to my bank. Okay, just put overnight repo, REPO, okay, to get some small interest, okay, with extra money. So they take the money out from your current account, and then after 1 day, they put back with the interest. So 1 day also can, okay, repo for companies, right? So because you need to talk to the bank first, okay. I want to open a repo account. How does it work? I will transfer money in and out, okay, from the bank to the bank, from my account to the bank account, and then give me back money, okay? So now let's go back. You like to pay your supplier as late as possible, because 1 day late, you can use the money for repo. And that repo got time value of money concept. You earn interest, right? But you like to receive from your customer cash, because the earlier you receive the money, the more you can put into repo and then collect interest. That's easy to understand. But now you look at your supplier point of view. Your supplier also want to receive cash from you, but you want to delay cash to them, right? Right. And look at your customer point of view. Your customer also want to delay payment to you, but you want to receive cash from them. So there's always this sort of pay me cash, I give you a discount, for example, or you are a good customer, I charge you lesser because you pay me cash, that sort of thing. So the cost of cash, okay, is basically what you miss out. If you have a cash right now, and if you can put a repo, the repo interest is your cost of cash. Okay, please understand that, because of time value of money concept. Now, I want you to do something for every business. You should do a cash flow forecast. Which is more important? The income statement to show you profit and loss, the balance sheet to show you what asset you got, or the cash forecast. The most important document is the cash forecast. Because without cash, you cannot run your business. You cannot do anything, right? So you should do a cash forecast. You can do it on a weekly basis. You can do a monthly basis. If you've got 2 branches, each branch must have their own cash forecast. Okay. Example, beginning cash. Cash means the actual 129 and also the balance in the bank. Actually, if you got 2 branches, you can actually open 2 branch accounts, 2 separate bank account, 2 checkbooks if you want to, so you can monitor it very nicely. Of course, you can move money from one branch to another branch when you don't have enough money in one branch. But if you want to do correct control, you should actually separate out easily. Okay, so beginning cash inflow, what you expect you will comes in. Okay, and what you will pay out. Payout is easy because you can control when you want to issue a check, when you want to do a transfer. Okay, I think most likely your payment, a lot of them will be by check, but small amount like maybe pay to the employees as cash, or maybe the washer lady, okay, buy mineral water or something like that, tissue. But most of the time, big money like medicine or whatever it is, it will be by check. So you can control the cash outflow. It's the cash inflow that is a little bit complicated. You expecting the money come in, but the money don't come in. So you must know how to forecast or how to control those people who owe you money that pay you back. Okay, so that will be the next cash flow. That's the ending cash. So you can do it. The next one, and therefore you can do this for the budgeting. You can do it for the actual. You can compare budget with actual, and then you see a minus. When there's a negative value, you must find ways to solve it by bank loan. And why is it important to do cash forecast? Because suddenly you found, if you forecast here and you do nothing, and when you come to September actually minus, who's going to lend you money with 24 hours notice? Therefore, if you do a cash forecast, you know ahead when there's a minus. So now you prepare to talk to your bankers. Now you prepare to talk to investors. Now you try to start to borrow money already, because you do not expect money to come in within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes bank take time to process your loan. All right. So that's the important thing of cash forecast. The key point of cash forecast is this line, the cash inflow line. How accurate are you in forecasting, or how accurate you can make people pay you? If your business is mainly in cash, no problem. But if your business got some people 30 days credit or something like that, that's the problem. Here you can control, no issue, because you don't want to issue it. You will know when you want to pay. Here is the problem, which is the cash inflow. Okay? This slide is to tell you, please get ready ahead of time so that you can have enough time to find the money. Okay? So when you go to see the bank to borrow money, hang on. There's a lot of documents needed by bank. I think maybe you know. So like, for example, identity, company, professional credibility, financial health, and so forth. So when you're making a bank loan, sometimes they will ask you for a business plan. Why you need the money? Okay, so you have to show things like projected cash flow. So how do you project your cash flow? So can you remember last week I told you how to do your strategy?
Yes.
It's based on the OTSW.
Yes.
And you use your S. You use the S to take advantage of the O. And using the S to take advantage of the O, maybe you need to do something. And that thing needs money. That's why now I'm going to the bank to lend money. Hey, I want to borrow money from the bank because I identify this OTSW. Then the bank understand, okay, you have a strategy, and your strategy is based on certain assumption, the OTSW. Okay, and based on the OTSW, you want to do some objectives, some strategies, and that need money. And from that strategy, you now expect what is your cash flow. The bank feel more comfortable to lend to you. Now, imagine you have no such thing, OTSW, and you haven't identified your strategy. You just go to the bank and say, I want to expand. Okay, I think that will be, I can make more profit, and this is my cash flow. The bank is going to ask you, your cash flow is very important for the bank, because the bank need to know your cash flow can pay back or not. The bank principal and the interest. The bank need to know you can pay back. So based on what basis? What is the basis of this cash flow which is positive, that you can pay back? Therefore, the basis is based on this OTSW. Okay? Now, when you write a business plan, the last wonderful paragraph is that please treat this as confidential and should not be used without your permission. Think carefully. You're giving your business plan to the bank is the loan officer or the bank manager, he see a business plan, he make a phone call to his wife, who is also having another clinic. Okay, hey, bye, I got this client coming with a wonderful, okay, wonderful information. Okay, we are not going to give him the bank loan because we're going to give to you, my wife, because you are the one now going to implement this plan, right? So, okay, so the last paragraph is in your business plan is this information is not to be used, okay, without your permission, and this information to use especially only for the purpose of this loan application. Okay, you don't want to give your ideas to somebody else, so that's where the projected cash flow comes from. The other thing is quite normal tendency operational. I think you can understand. It's only now this area. How to make a bank loan possible? Chance of success is possible. OTSW. How to make your business grow or successful or don't die? OTSW with a strategy. So if you see the opportunity first, see the opportunity first. See your strength. Match your strength with this opportunity. Make your objective based on this opportunity by using the strength. Okay? If you remember last week, that's what I shared with you.
Yes.
Okay? You understand? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so now here comes the internal source of fund. You can revenue, pay daily, common use, cash consultation. You are clinic, you see doctor, you see patient, every day you get cash. You got panel claims. Okay. I think sometimes you claim also from the insurance company, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
Those people come in, they have an insurance policy. Those are the debtors, you know. Okay. One of the major problem is insurance claim is that when you submit, here comes, they say you use the wrong code. I don't know whether you're familiar or not. Oh, you apply under the wrong code. So this application is rejected. Please fill in the correct claim code. Okay. Or your data is not enough. All these are delays. And whenever there's a delay in receiving money, your time value of money kick in because you cannot receive the money now. And because you cannot receive the money faster, you cannot do the repo, and therefore you lose a little bit of interest. But in the long run, all these small interest getting is profit. Understand? Yes. So panel claim, retained profit is also your profit. It's also your money. Okay, owner saving capital. So these are internal sources of fund. Sometimes maybe not enough. So therefore you go outside. So you go for banks, professional loans. Okay, maybe have financing. Do you know maybe have financing? Okay, opening new clinic, purchasing shop, law, property, or major. This one again, I repeat all the time. When you go for external, you must have a business plan. Not people don't believe you. Okay, you will say I've been 20 years opening a clinic. I'm a qualified doctor from the Malaysian Medical Council. I got license and that. Yeah. 100 of you people say same thing, lah. You understand? To the banks, there are 100 doctors asking you the same thing. So why they want to give to you? Difference is your OTSW. Okay, and if you have a correct OTSW, very good chance. Okay. So government grants, venture capital, I don't know whether you're interested in venture capital or not. Angel investors, if you have, okay. Normally used for early seed, but now you're no more early stage seed. So okay. Equity funding, these are some of the website. Development finance, Bank Negara Malaysia, fund for SME, okay, CGC credit, okay, alternate financing, person to person, cap-based invoice. Invoice factoring means you take all your invoices, you go to the bank. The invoices, let's say, for example, you got invoices for the insurance company, and the insurance company says 60 days or 90 days, but you need the cash right now. So you take the invoices, go to the bank. The bank will not pay you 100%. The bank will pick also. Maybe if you give you 100, maybe they give you only 20 or 30, but at least 20 or 30, the money give you back. And then you still have to collect the money from those people owe you money, then you need to pay them back. The bank is very selective, and also they charge you more money. Nothing is free with the banks. Okay. Most easy way is actually a bank loan. And if you are that lucky, some government grants, angel investor, you have to be careful, or venture capital, you have to be careful, because suddenly once you issue them with shares, once you issue them with shares, they will buy more and more shares. They will take away your company very easily. Okay. Okay. Now, one thing, because maybe you're dealing with insurance company, you need to claim money from them. Nowadays, a lot of people are working and their company buy insurance, okay, medical insurance, and they come and see you, and then they give you the medical card. You have to look at them, but you cannot collect money from them. You have to collect money from the insurance company. So those are debtors. Okay. So what happened to debtors? Oh, okay, I'm a bit late, but I think let me just carry on. Okay. Credit terms. So sometimes you want the insurance company to pay you back early. You can have this kind of term, 3 plus 10. So I will give you a 3% discount if paid within 10 days, and the balance paid next 60 days or 90 days. Yeah, this kind of commercial terms. I don't know whether your industry have this kind of terms, but that means you actually give them a 3% 10 days. You know what's 3% 10 days? No? That's very expensive. No? Very expensive, because you lost 3%, but you can get 10 days. So whether that 10 days, can you give back 3%? No? Right, of that amount? I don't think so. Because if they pay you early by 10 days, right, you go to the bank, your saving is only 0.02 or 0.5%, but you're paying 3% upfront. Okay, instead of go get the 10 days money and then you receive from the bank. Unless you are really emergency, you know, you don't do such things. Okay. 5C or credit, who should you give your credit to? Insurance company, I think you have no choice, but most likely if it's not insurance company, if it's a normal company, you look at the character, capacity to pay you back, the capital, collateral, and conditions. So it's not so important for you. Now, if a company, not through insurance, come and see you. Okay, you let my worker see you, I pay you at the end of whatever day, you need to check whether the company is good or not. Not only the income statement or balance sheet, you need to have this formula. 3.3 plus the company earnings before interest and tax divided by total asset plus 1. Sales, total asset, the ratio plus market value. If there's no market value, you can just forget about this one. Because if the share is quoted, no, therefore no. 1.2 working capital of the company that wants to do business with you and their retained earnings. All this information you can get from their balance sheet. How they get the balance sheet? Go to the SSM, get their company registration number, go to ESM, get a copy of their balance sheet. You can calculate it. Okay. If the score is 3.3, is safe, you can actually give them credit terms. 2.7, 2.9 on alert, below 1.8, this company is probability of bankruptcy. You don't give them credit. It's the same formula you use if you want to merge with another company or you want to acquire another company. If you want to acquire another company, you go and calculate whether this company is very good credit or no good credit. It's the same formula. Whether you want to use this formula for extending credit or you want to use this formula to buy over another company or merge another company. Okay? Okay, now I want to talk about usage of funds for you as a clinic. Sometimes you want to buy a new clinic or you want to buy a new X-ray machine or MRI machine or something like that. Invest in new equipment or open a new branch clinic. So this is the year. This is the cash inflow you expect. Okay, this is an example. So you need to calculate. I'm talking about cash inflow, not profit and loss. You see, what's the difference between profit and loss and cash? So you got sales, you got expense, sales minus expense is profit. It doesn't mean you have collect back the money yet. Sometimes you collect next year, sometimes they die already, sometimes they run away, they bankrupt, they don't pay you. So profit is not equal to cash. Okay, and we are running the business, cash is important, not profit. You don't have profit, zero profit, you got a lot of cash, you can still survive. You got 1 million profit, but you got no cash. I'm sorry. Until you collect back your money, you cannot survive. Okay, so therefore we're looking at cash inflow, and then you're looking at cash outflow. So maybe the first time your cash outflow, you buy the equipment, or you open a new branch, you pay somebody, and this discount rate, okay, it can be a bank loan interest rate or your dividend. If you're borrowing money from the bank to finance this thing, this is the bank loan interest rate, the nominal rate. If you are not borrowing from the bank, maybe you got a dividend payment rate plus what is your profit rate. Actually, you should have the, no, actually here, I should put a bracket. Okay, it is bank loan rate or dividend payment rate bracket plus whatever the profit rate. Maybe a profit rate is 2%. So if the bank is charging you 8% plus 2%, this is 10%. Because you don't want to run this business without having a profit. Understand? Right? So maybe your profit is 5%, and if your bank interest rate is 4%, 4 plus 5 is 9%. If you have a mixture of a bank loan and also your own company internal generation fund, you calculate a weighted average. Okay, a weighted average rate plus the profit rate. Therefore, this is the rate. And this rate will be using for discounting. Can you see? This is the net profit and loss. This is like accounting. Why? What is 454? 454 is
discount rate.
The present value of 1 year received 500K. 413 is the present value of 413 is the second year received 500 is equal to 413. Okay. 375 is equal to 500 received in the year 3 is equal to 375. This time value of money. You add it up. Okay, you minus it. If it's a positive, good luck. Okay. If it's not positive, it's a bad luck. Now, how to calculate this? Right? You can have an app. Okay. Okay. Or you can go to here using this app. This app is in the laptop. Okay, you go to internet, you click here, you put in your current investment, put in your year. If you have extra year, normally we just put up to maximum 5 years.
5 years.
Okay, because more than 5 years is difficult to forecast, right? So if this one give you 3 years, there's an option here to add year, right? And you put in your figure. This is your cash flow. You press, you'll come up the net present value. What does that mean? That means if you are looking only strictly like this, look, it's 2 million on 1 million. Ha, very good. 2 million or 1 million, you get 1 million profit, right? But if you look at net present value, it's not 1 million, it's only 584 because of the time value of money concept. Can you get what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes.
Therefore, every time when you're looking at investment in new machine, investment, open a new brand, whatever things you buy, let's say you're buying a new company, the acquisition of a new company, do the same thing. Use the time value of money. Okay, use based on this one or handphone. You can download a handphone app. Okay, ask for handphone app with NPV calculator. It always come out like that. Sometimes they ask you to put the minus sign first, because it is you coming out the money. Okay, sometimes they don't ask you to put in the minus sign one. Okay, you just try with a minus sign 1 million or without minus sign and press and calculate, and you will see a time value of money. Okay, I hope this one is very good for you. Yes. Because if you're just looking for sometimes a very funny one. Sometimes when you add up all this, is more than this, so you thought you're very happy. But when you do time value of money, it's a minus sign. If it's a minus sign, think twice.
Right.
Okay, so there are a few things when you do this one, you have to estimate correctly your cash inflow. Your cash outflow, I think you can better, easy to forecast because you know what you're going to pay. And this discount rate is your bank loan or your dividend if you're generating from your own money to finance it, right? This is the payment rate, then plus the profit rate. You must add in the profit rate because you're not doing this thing for fun. Yes. So it can be 2% or 4%. Let's say, for example, it's 10%, right? So therefore, in here, that's where you put the discount rate. Understand? Okay, and then you calculate.
Okay.
So far, are you clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mergers and acquisition. It's 5:30 already. I talk too much already. Okay, mergers and acquisition. So how do you do a merger acquisition? You do planning. You identify who you want to merge or who you want to acquire. How do you identify? Sometimes it's through a network. Okay.
Right.
Sometimes it's through people telling you it's possible that they want to sell. Okay. Or you must do due diligence, check their financial. Okay, before you do due diligence, when you're having a target, sometimes you get somebody else as a third party to approach them. Are they interested in selling? If they're interested in selling or merging, then you need to sign a contract. Whatever information, right? Whatever information that you get will be treated in strict confidence, right? And sometimes they will ask you to pay some money. Oh, you want my data? You want to acquire me? You want my data? Pay some money first. So you think whether it's worthwhile or not worthwhile. Then you do your financial thing. So things like due diligence you can do by this way of calculation, and also credit scoring model. You got two of them. One is credit scoring model. I will advise you and use this MPV method of way of doing. Okay.
Okay.
Do the due diligence, check the financial, legal, operational, give them an offer. It's up to you how much you want to offer. Basically, you should not accept whatever they give you, right? Negotiate agreement, then get the approval, regulatory, and combine operations. Okay. So how do you evaluate, analyze their financial statement, review income tax, cash flow, whatever, forecast future performance? This is where is your key, not their key. Okay. Choose the valuation method. So that's why I use the net present value. Okay. Here should be a minus. Here should be a common. Comparable. Recently, who has been buying clinic and what is the paying their, what's the amount they're paying? Calculate the value. Okay. Maybe you want to adjust for synergies or adjust for risk. If you think that's a bit risky, you have to pay a little bit lower. If you think there's a lot of synergy, you can pay a little bit more, then determine the offer price. The legal framework, you have to make sure you're following the Company Act, Contract Act, Employment Act. Okay. You may take over. Then the I don't know, maybe if maybe not so much in your industry, but if you are having one big company eating another company, you consider the MYCC, Competition Act, Competition Commission. You may have to get the approval before you eat over the other company. Okay. Now this, when you're doing this thing, is quite important. When you're merging with, when you're acquiring or merger with another company, so the seller company may have got some chain of control clauses with their customer. So let's say, for example, you are A and no, you are B, you are buyer, and S is the seller. S may have some contract with their customer or their supplier. And one of the contract will say that if S is selling the business, whatever contract that they have over there with S customer become no more. Okay, this is a clause. When the ownership of the company change, when seller ownership, when the seller company ownership change to you, be the buyer, certain clause in their contract with their customer or with their supplier change, then it may be unfavorable to you. So look for this change of control clauses. Okay. For example, a company has a COC clause. The moment the company is sold, that customer, that seller customer can walk away. So destroy a huge part of the target value. Okay. So you have to be very careful about this. Okay. Deep dive, must identify this clause. Okay. Why your merger may fail, cultural mismatch, poor due diligence. Last time you think it's a very good buy, then you find it's not so good buy, hidden debts. Okay, then problem, overvaluation, loss of key doctors or staff, weak system is weak. So normally when a clinic is merging or acquisition, they leave it be for a short while before they bring in the new system or their new people. Okay. Okay, the last one I want to talk to you is a dividend policy. How should you pay your dividend? First, we look at the law first. Section 131, dividend must come from profit. Current year profit or previous year's profit. Where's the previous year's profit? In the retained earnings. You cannot declare dividend more than what is available as profit or retained earnings. That is the law. Okay. Now, profit can be from current year profit or accumulated retained earnings. Paying dividend when there is no profit is illegal. The directors go to jail. Okay. Second one is solvency test. Directors must ensure the company can pay its debts after paying dividend. So you don't think you can pay a dividend a day and then say your company is bankrupt. Okay, we cannot pay you. The medicine company, the drug company, I cannot pay you because sorry, money all gone already. It's all paid dividend.
Okay.
Because if that's the case, you, the director, become personally liable for the debts.
Right.
Okay, even though the company is bankrupt, but because they prove that you pay dividend. How can they prove? They got all the records in the SSM. You understand? So type of dividend, final dividend approved by shareholder at the AGM. I think you know about that. And interim dividend will be declared by directors. Now, here comes the problem. The final dividend should be equal, okay, or more than the interim. What I mean is, if interim is 10%, final dividend cannot be 8%. No, you have a gap of 2%. What happened to 2%? I already paid 10% already, right? So if you're you must make sure the director don't go crazy, you know. Okay, so therefore a lot of companies do not want to pay interim dividend unless they are very sure about their profit. If you are not sure about your profit, don't pay any interim dividend. Okay, better to have interim dividend 0 and then one final dividend.
Final dividend.
Okay, one final dividend. Okay. Now, dividend policy 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these are the descriptions table. Predictable dividend payment. Okay, so what do you mean by stable? A certain amount or certain percentage. Okay, constant payout one. Okay, so large mature blue chip company Coca-Cola, they all pay very stable dividend. Okay, constant payout of fixed percentage. Example, 20% of net income is dividend. So if the more income, 20% is still the same. 20% of more amount or 20% of low amount. That's all. Okay. In cyclical industry, volatile. You guys are not there, so it's not that. So you may be consider this one better. Residual dividend policy pay off only after all capital expenditure has been funded, so we can pay out only after that. So high growth companies are here, or you have a hybrid, low, regular, and extra. A small base dividend is paid with special or extra when paid during exceptional profit bursts. Maybe your company is here. Okay. Now, last thing I want to say, you want to control. Okay, you want to control. So how do you control? Now, in Malaysia, the former is called a Memorandum Article of Association. The new law is constitution. It's basically the same. But in the constitution, you can put whatever you want to put. It's like a partnership agreement. So in the constitution, you can also have 2 class or 3 class of shares. Class A, class B, class C. Okay, it can be also all of them are ordinary shares. So there are basically 2 types of shares: ordinary shares and preference shares. What's the difference? Preference shares means company winding up, who get paid out first? Pay off all the people you owe money, balance of money, pay to preference share first. That's why they use the word preference. You pay all your people, pay whoever people you owe the money, the balance of the money, you pay the preference people first. That's called the preference shares. Okay. Now, after you pay out preference share, the balance you pay to ordinary shares. Now, what happens? You pay out all the people already, money very little, not enough to pay preference. I'm sorry, that's all. Therefore, ordinary share will get nothing. Okay, that's the difference between preference and ordinary shares. Now, within ordinary share itself, now normally, normally preference shares, they already got a percentage, maybe 5% dividend. You put down there 5% dividend. So with preference shares, 5% dividend means your company got profit, no profit. Okay, in the last time, okay, whether your company got profit or no profit, preference share 5% you have to pay. But now, because dividends can only be paid out of profit, preference shares is no more popular. 5% preference share is no more popular because if you don't make profit, I don't even get the 5%. Okay, therefore, preference shares is basically die. So what do the preference share people do? They either convert it into ordinary share or they get out, they give you a loan. A loan is different from a preference share. Okay, a preference shareholder still have got voting right sometimes if it's in the constitution. Okay, so now forget about preference share. Let's go back to ordinary share. You can have class A, B, and C. Doesn't matter. Class A can be voting with dividend. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ordinary shares, you can do voting, you can get dividend. Amount of dividend in the AGM. Okay? Declare in the AGM, voting in the AGM. No problem. Class B, no voting, got dividend. Class C, no voting, no dividend. Now, why so funny one? Why you have class C, no voting and no dividend? Why got such one? Okay, why got such stupid shareholders? Right? It's very rare. Very rare. This can happen when you have an angel investor, an entrepreneur who comes in. He sees that you have a very big company, your company is growing, he's going to invest, and he's not making money from dividend. He's not making money from voting. He's making money when your company grows, he take your shares and sell at a higher price. You understand? That is how you can get the class C. Not often. Angel investor may look at that. May look at no voting, no voting, no dividend, but with agreement, they can sell certain time. At that time, you cannot do anything because it will sell to somebody else already. And that's where the danger is. If you want to control your company, you make sure the A, B, C, and class, you have control. You don't go and get money, and give a lot of shares, and then later on somebody take over your company and kick you out. Because now they're controlling 51% of your shares. Or you have 2%, one is having 25%, the other fellow having 26%. 25 plus 26 becomes 51. They can kick you out already. You understand not?
Yes.
So it's better to get a bank loan. But bank loan got interest. Okay? So bank loan, you have to pay bank loan interest. Shares, you don't have to pay interest, but you have to pay dividend. How much dividend? Declare in the AGM. Who is controlling the AGM? You guys with the majority shares. Right? And you don't have to worry too much because dividend by law must be our profit. No profit, no dividend. That's all. Right? So lesser amount of profit, lesser dividend. It's by law. There's no choice. But you don't be so happy. There are so many classes of share, and when by they add up together is more than your 51%, they will kick you out. Okay, so I hear something that maybe you may have some problem with some shareholders. They may declare dividend not enough, this and that. One way is to have A, B, and C shares. Okay, or in the constitution, you can also put class A, class B is entitled to 10% of profit as dividend. Must be as profit, no? Because the law say must be from profit. You understand, no?
Yes.
So, 10% of profit will be put under class B. So now, how do you want to do right now? Because right now you are running company, you got the various type of, maybe have one class of ordinary shares. Now you have to go and negotiate to split the shares into A, B, and C. Okay, you need to split the shares. Go and see your company secretary. Okay, think of ways how to split the shares. Get the other party agree. Okay, now the other party may say, hey, why am I suddenly changing my position? Last time I'm ordinary share A. Okay, why I'm now suddenly got to B? You have to convince them because if you are using B, at least you got a certain amount. 10% of profit or 20% of profit will be treated as dividend for you. So you don't have a hassle in the future. You, the class B shares. That's how you have to convince them. Now, if you don't convince them, you will still have a problem because you only got class A shares. Or actually, they don't even use the word class A. They just use the word ordinary shares. Right? We use the word class A, B, and C when we want to do differentiation. So there's no differentiation. We just use the word class A. We just use the word ordinary shares. Now, if you cannot split the shares because the current people don't agree, then you come back to originally, okay, when you set up a company, if it's not written down in the constitution, there will always be a little bit of, how do I say, I won't say complaint, misalignment of objective. Your objective and the other person's objective is different. So what you need to do right now is to think carefully how to satisfy them split out the shares. Then you know where you stand, they know where they stand. Everybody know where they stand, no conflict so much. If everybody is not, it's like a partnership agreement, there's no agreement, everybody can say whatever you want to do, whatever they think is right for them, then you always for this kind of issue. Okay, sometimes it affect the business, sometimes it does not affect the business, but in many cases it affect the business, right? So that's why I advise you is to think about splitting the shares. Okay, that's what I have for you for finance. Well, I need to charge you extra again. Okay. So what have we learned today under finance? We learned fiat money.
Money, yes.
Right? We have learned fiat money and the danger that everyone is also facing. We also have learned the various type of loan and how the bank charge you for interest.
Right.
Okay, and we also learn the two methods to assess the creditor, the debtor, whether they extend crediting or not. And we also learn how to do investment analysis. Okay, we also learn how to do correct, easy dividend policy. Okay, there are many things in financial management. I cannot teach you everything.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's all I have for you. Is there any question you'd like to ask me? I want to stop recording soon, and I will give you. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Right now, no, sir. But I will go through the session today, and then if I have questions, I will text you.
Okay. I tell you what. I will stop recording now.
Yeah.
So I need time to process like last time, right?
Right.
And then I will give you the
problem.
YouTube.
Sure.
And I will give you the PowerPoint. Okay.
Okay.